So really, without you, there's no Harry Styles.
Pretty much.
I had not fully understood until it came to doing the research for this interview how much you have shaped popular culture. Because I watched all of the X Factor when you were a judge. You were amazing. But when I put it all together, you were behind Rylan, discovering Rylan, James Arthur, and forming One Direction. So really, without you, there's no Harry Styles.
Pretty much.
Have
I'm
you
waiting for my
always-
cut. That's an old joke.
Have you always, do you think, had instinct about what makes great art in others as well as in yourself?
I think it's going to sound really bad. Like when you have it, something within you, and I believe we're all chosen for various reasons, right? Everyone is chosen, has a great purpose for various reasons. But when you have that something, you can then recognize it within someone else. You see it, you know. And so I don't know how I fell into that job. I fell into it accidentally because I think, bless dear Cheryl Cole got ill and they needed me to fill in. And I was doing boot camp and I was like, listen, I just came from the Pussycat Dolls. These guys, we have too many boys in this category that are too good, but it's a shame to let go of these guys. They're going to be stronger together as a group, Simon. We've got to create a group. And at that time, there wasn't any groups like that. There were more man band groups like Take That and like Westlife and Backstreet Boys. And we didn't have any younger groups. So I don't know. I'm a visionary.
You
This
are.
is why Simon keeps me in his back pocket. I'm just joking. No, I just think that when you have that thing, you're able to see it within others. And I'm so proud of everybody, so happy for everyone. I mean, Rylan is doing so brilliant. I also had my sweet John Maine that year. I was Rylan, John Maine, and James. And he's like my angel. He's like my little brother, my little lamb that he is like still in my life. And then James, all the success that he's had in One Direction and Harry Styles. All the boys from One Direction are having wild success. So I'm grateful that I could be a part of that in some small way.
Let's get on to your first failure.
Yay!
Yay! Because we're here to celebrate vulnerability and authenticity.
And that's how we learn and grow and evolve.
Exactly. Your first failure is to do with the struggles that got you where you are today. You mentioned the Pussycat Dolls earlier, and I know that forms part of what you want to talk about in this failure.
Well, I think it's interesting because I was thinking on a deeper level about like, okay, what are some things that just really didn't work out for me that were not good in my life? And at that time I thought it was horrible, but then it ended up being a beautiful thing, right? So I remember, I think it was around 2008, I was in New York City and I was with my manager at the time, and I had worked so hard on this demo and this portfolio with pictures, and I even did my own music video and songs that I recorded and original songs that I recorded. I was shopping it around, determined to get a solo deal. I went around to every record label, and during that day, it was the actual blackout, the big blackout that happened in New York City. And there I was in Arista, top of this building, blackout happens, the exec's running around, I'm singing my song a cappella in the dark, and he's like, keep going, and he's like grabbing his stuff, freaking out, and then he just bolts out of the door and goes down the fire escape, as you do in New York City. That was my last, and then my audition. Couldn't cut a break. No one would pick me up, and I was really down about that. But what was great is that I still had that portfolio, so when I had heard about the Pussycat Dolls audition, I was fully equipped to give them my music and everything, and the rest was history. So that happened with PCD. I don't think people realizes that for a long time before the Pussycat Dolls, I was first in a group called Pop Stars. And first I was in an actual rock group, acoustic rock group signed to Geffen Records called Days of the New, and we toured with like Foo Fighters and Bush and everything. And then I was in Pop Stars, and then I was trying to go solo, and that led me to the Dolls. And so yeah, it's people don't realize
The journey.
Yeah,
And
all the doors closed.
Yes. Well, because you dropped out of college to tour with that rock band as
Yes.
well, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And then Pop Stars was the reality TV show, and you formed Eden's Crush off the back of that.
Yes.
And I didn't know either. So I'm really glad that you've shared that story. The idea of doing an audition in a citywide blackout
In a blackout.
and then having to pick yourself up and try again.
Keep trying, and you have to believe, you have to have that vision, and you just can't let go of it, because if you could see it, if you could dream it, then it could happen.
Thanks for tuning in. And if you found this video enjoyable, be sure to check out the full episode on your preferred podcast platform. And make sure you're following How to Fail on social media for additional content and updates.